Good day. Welcome to another A Week at the Plot. It's been quite a funny day today so far. I'm not quite sure what mood I'm in. I seem to be a bit anxious about something, but I'm not really sure what it is, and it's hovering at the back of my head, if you see what I mean. I'm getting on with doing things. I had a morning at my desk which was really productive, and that was great. But then something I had at 2 o'clock this afternoon has been put back to 4:30, which means that something I needed to do at 6 o'clock I can no longer be around for, which is a real shame. But you know what? There are other people in far more challenging situations than me. So, pull up your socks, Paul, and get on and do things. I just thought I would show you, before I just tell you what I'm doing here. Oh, there's a white fly. I'm going to show you a cabbage I was given yesterday. Honestly, I mean, that is the largest cabbage I think I've ever seen grown for eating on an allotment patch. It's one of our fellow allotmenteers. His brassicas this year have just been, his cabbages in particular, have been quite phenomenal, as you can see. And he has really, really great soil. I mean, he's been working his plot for 20 or more years, and the soil there is really great. And obviously the soil on our plot is beginning to get better than it was a year ago. So that's really good. This hour that I've given myself this afternoon is just going to be a quiet hour down here, doing a few things that just still need to be done. I still haven't taken out that sunflower that's in the beetroot bed, so that will come out. I'm going to do a little bit of hand weeding in the garlic and the onions bed. There's a few things that I just want to move around. I still need to cut up some of the cosmos that we took out a week ago and put that into our compost bins. I've also got cardboard here that I need to tear up and put into our cardboard box, our box, plastic box for cardboard, that we then take the cardboard out of to add to our compost bins. Yeah, and just generally do a few things. I need that quiet time today. It's interesting because I feel as though we've been really busy over the last few weeks. It's been a lot of thinking about the plot and things that need to be done at the plot. I've done all my note making now. My note taking is all done. And in this cupboard here is my black book with all of my notes of things that need to be done. So once I've taken out that sunflower, I'll cross that out in my little black book. And yeah, it's yeah, that's about it. Just needing to have an hour of quiet time. So once I've done the pottering outside the shed, I'll be back inside the shed listening to the radio and tearing up cardboard to go into our cardboard storage bin. And think about things like this. These books, they need to go home because they need to go to mum. The rubbish I need to take, my little plastic bag here that goes into our general rubbish, I need to sort that out. Always something to do. Anyway, I'm going to go and have some quiet time. I hope you get an opportunity to have some quiet time too. See you again tomorrow. Bye. Can you see? It's suddenly, the sun has just, so as I was saying before the camera shut off unexpectedly, rudely interrupted me. The sun has just gone below the tree line at the bottom of our allotment, and the temperature just has tipped, just tipped that little bit more, and therefore we're getting a bit of condensation in the air when we breathe out. Oh, there's three kites up there. We've got some breeding kites in the area, not kites as in the ones that you hold on to, but kites as in the birds that were introduced back in the Chilterns 20 odd years ago, or even more. And there's a couple of breeding pairs now quite near us, so you see them circling in the skies every now and again. When it's warm, you see them circling regularly. When it's cold, not so often. Anyway, as I said before, I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye. Good day. And it is a better day today than yesterday. The weather has been glorious, though the sun is just going down now and it's gone behind a cloud, so it's gone quite grey again. But I'm just in a better mood today. I really am. Thank you very much to my fellow planet vegetarians for your words of comfort and support yesterday. They really were lovely and are lovely, and yeah, it did help me. It's we're all in strange times at the moment, and I'm usually a very positive and up person. I have my days, and yesterday was one of those days, and I thought it through, and I went for a really long walk this morning, and have come down to the plot today to do a bit of sowing, which I just adore. That feeling of hope as you sow a seed, and the excitement that it's going to germinate one day, fingers crossed, and give you a fantastic plant that you will be able to eat, and it will be yummy. Yes, glorious. So yeah, thank you everyone on Planet Vegetarian who commented or just liked. Thank you very much, really appreciate it. What am I going to be sowing? Well, I am sowing some Portuguese cabbage seeds. These are the brassicas that we were given a couple of plants of maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, and they grow really tall, and they're effectively a kale rather than a cabbage, and the leaves are fantastic. I've shown you them before, and they're sort of semi-perennial. So they will last for at least a year or potentially 2 years. The seeds that I'm going to be sowing today are seeds that I saved back, was it early this year or the back end of last year? I think most probably the back end of last year. And fingers crossed they will germinate well. The person that originally gave me the plants does have some in his compost bin that he said, would you like them? So he's going to be passing those on to me, which is lovely, because yesterday when I saw him, he had harvested from his Indian perennial kale, which I had given him last year. So, and those leaves looked glorious as well. Anyway, let's get on with a bit of sowing. I think with that sun going down behind the tree line like it was yesterday, the temperature's really dipped now. So let's pop into the poly. These are the Portuguese cabbage seeds that we saved. Just like any other brassica seed really. And I'm going to be sowing them into this green tray quite thinly, and just adding some soil from here back into here. Just sprinkling them on thinly. They tend to germinate really well. So this will last a good few years. Well, more than a few years, I think. The seed is quite viable for quite a while. So just pressing that down. The compost is spent compost. It's not highly nutritious compost or special compost. And I'm just going to put a thinnish layer on top, maybe a centimetre. Press it down again. That'll do. And now I'm just going to give it a little water, and then hopefully within a couple of weeks these will be up and germinated. They're not going to have any special treatment. They're going to be in the poly, so they are undercover, but they're not going to have any lid on them or covering on them. Fingers crossed they'll be fine exactly as they are. Hello. We've got Fenella just sitting in the... Oh, let me see if I can get her. Well, she was just sitting here, but has trotted off somewhere. Let's see if we can catch her outside. Well, she was outside the poly, but she didn't want to be filmed. She's trotted off somewhere. I've got a cup of tea, so I'm just going to sit here. I've had to put my gilet on to keep myself warm. The temperature's really... It's been quite mild today, but as soon as that sun begins to go down, it really does get quite chilly. And with a breeze coming across, as you can see with the windmill there, it's feeling a little bit raw. But that's what we should expect. It is that time of year. Anyway, I'm going to sit here and just watch the allotment go by. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye. Good day. I'm still mulling this area at the end of each of these beds. As you know, the area under the vinyl will actually become a growing space. But I'm still wondering whether I extend these beds by maybe 80 centimetres, which was sort of bring them out to here, and then just take this back a little to leave a pathway down there. Oh, I'm not sure. Or do I just leave it so that things are at the ends like this? I don't know. It's one of those that is really sort of, I was going to say tricking me, but that's not right. It's not coming to me what I want to do with them. I know what I'd love to do with them, which is extend them by about another 80 centimetres. But then I lose area here. But this bit here is a bit dodgy walking wise. It sort of slopes down a little. So it would be better to sort of come out a bit and have this area as a walking space, which is a bit more level. But what I am going to do today, do you remember these from last year? These are garlic that I intended to take out last year. Not our garlic, these were already in, and I didn't. So all I'm going to do is put a fork in, a big fork, loosen the soil and pull these out. And at least that then gives that as a clear space. I was hoping to strim today. We're having rain later, and I thought maybe the grass would be dry enough to strim, but it's just not. So that's not going to happen today. Anyway, I'm going to ponder this bit a bit more and just get on with this.
Look at the roots. Quite a bit of couch grass here and cinquefoil in here as well. Look how it trails through things and then roots itself. Look. Ooh. Yeah. Garlic. That can be used as green garlic. I'm going to give it a wash to again make sure that the ground stays here and not go home. Oh, look at Mr. Worm popping back there. Cover him up a little bit. I'm going to give that a wash and get on with the rest. That's all the garlic out. I'm just going to wash it, as I say, so that the soil comes off and doesn't get taken home. And then I'll tip this trug of muddy water out back down here. And as you can see, if I come in, there's quite a lot of bindweed in there. Yeah, so yeah, carry on thinking about this, the edges of the beds. I mean, it's things like, yeah, that strawberry plant is fine there. And I had some tomatoes there which didn't do too well. Those are the bags that we had the butternut squash in that are going to be used on beds. So maybe it's a matter of bringing this one out a bit and that one out a bit. You see, I need this space here to make sure I can easily get through. Anyway, I'll carry on mulling that. I'm going to wash all these clean of soil and see you tomorrow. Bye. Good day. It's a rather glorious sky today. It's been a mix of grey clouds and sun and blue sky. In fact, let me just spin the camera around so you can see the skyline. You can see the clouds there are rather gorgeous. And then if we go over there, you can see the beautiful blueness in the sky. And also what's happened is it hasn't rained. So that's going to give me an opportunity to strim, which I'm really pleased about. So I will be strimming all of the edges and all of the pathways along the edging there, along here. First of all, of course, I'm going to put my fingers down to make sure there aren't any frogs or newts or hedgehogs down in the grass where I'm going to strim. I'm really not expecting there to be any. But yeah, let's just check that out now. Hopefully that looks a little bit neater. As you can most probably gather, the sun has come out. It's glorious, absolutely lovely. The bank of clouds that you saw when I started, or just before I started the strimming, have now largely gone further towards the horizon, and the sky, there's some mackerel sky up there, there's some wisps of cloud over there, and it's sunny, which is why I'm squinting a bit. The lovely thing was, everything was really lovely and quiet before I started strimming. And I thought, oh, I'm going to break the quiet. I don't really want to do that. And then I heard somebody else start up a lawnmower. And I thought, that's my opportunity. So they're further down on the plot and are doing communal areas. And I think they've just turned it off now. Oh, itchy nose. They turned their lawnmower off. So it's really quiet again, which is great. But I'm so pleased to have got that strim done. We're due a couple of days of quite heavy fog over the next few days, which of course will decant on the blades of grass. So I think doing it today has really been the right thing to do. The grass was still a bit damp and the longer bits of grass were still a bit wet. But I think it's really fantastic to have, sorry, birds going over now. Really fantastic to have got that job done. I doubt it's going to be the last strim of the year. I think there will be another strim, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, job done. Really pleased. I have got a few bits of pottering that I need to do, so I'm going to get on and do that. And then it's going to be home for a cup of tea. So I'll say goodbye now. I'll see you very soon for another week at the plot. See you tomorrow. Bye. It's now Thursday afternoon and we're visiting a friend tomorrow. And I've decided I'm going to take a couple of these sedum that I propagated last year. I think this one, because I think this one's a white one, and this one down here, which is a red one. And hopefully, if all goes according to plan, we'll see where they'll end up tomorrow. Good day. It's now Saturday afternoon. And we got to Vivi yesterday. We had a social bubble day with Vivi and we took her those two sedum. And we were chatting so much, we didn't have the chance to get to the garden and see where they're going to end up. So we'll most probably see those sedum at some point when Vivi plants them out at her garden. Going to Vivi and remembering a Vivi video from a couple of weeks back, I remembered I hadn't planted our Freesias as yet. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. This is a Freesia. They're corms, the pointy bit is up, the sort of flatter bit is down. And I'm going to be planting these in 2 troughs. And I'll explain what I'm going to do with the troughs tomorrow, but I'm just basically planting these 2 troughs up today. I've also still got some iris bulbs left, and I'm going to plant them into a pot so that they can sit at the base of the side of the door of our shed, because I think they'd be really lovely there. So I'm going to get on and do that. I'm using spent compost. You've seen me use spent compost quite a bit for the planting of the apple and the medlar and the acorns and various other things over the past few weeks. And I'm using spent compost again. This time, the spent compost I'm going to be using is from the bags that the butternuts were growing in. I'm looking over there because they're over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill up one of the troughs now with that compost, and then I'll show you what or how really I'm planting the Freesias. You've seen it before. with the tulips and with the iris, but I'll show you again. So I filled up with spent compost. Just going to scatter the bulbs over, not be too regimented about it. A few tiny ones in there, and then literally I'm putting them down the depth of my finger, which is about 5 centimeters, something like that. So this is soft compost because I've just moved it in here. So making a hole with my finger, putting the corm in, bottom fat side down, and hopefully by doing this randomly they won't look too uniform when they come up. They're pretty tough, these bulbs, but again, what you don't want to do is damage the basal plate where the root comes out. Put that one in there. Let's put those in there. Oh, put that one upside down. There we are, it's the right way up. Final one. No, there's one there. And there's 2 little ones here. Okay, so that's them all planted, and I'm just going to scatter a bit more soil on top, or spent compost. Only a centimetre or 2. And now I'm going to do the same as I did the other day. I'm going to put bamboos across here to stop the squirrels having fun. With the iris, I've got these iris left over. You can see they're already sprouting. I'm nestling them in quite closely together in this bowl. So they're all nestled in nicely there. Now what I'm going to do, top it up and push down with my fingers to make sure, gently, to make sure the compost is really nicely around those bulbs. Right. This compost is really quite moist at the moment, so I'm not going to water either of these. So that's these two done with Freesias. This one down here in the corner has got iris in. This trough at the top is our garlic, and this trough here is where we put in tulips and iris mix a couple of weeks ago, which you will have seen me do. These have still got bamboo on, as you can see, so I'm just going to go and have a look to see if any of those have actually come up. Well, looky here. Oh, there's another one. Can you see in there? Oh yeah, coming over here. More there, more there. So I'm going to take these off now. Hopefully, the fact that those are all germinating means they've got, not germinating, breaking through the soil means that they've put down decent roots. Oh yeah, look, there's a couple in the middle there as well. Yeah. So there, there, over there. Another one there, there. So now I'm going to use the sticks I've just taken off to put on top of the ones we've just planted. Those have now been topped up with the bamboos and bits of piping, and also this is sunflower stem, and you can see that some of them are beginning to break down, but that's fine. That's not going to harm the bulbs in any way whatsoever, or the corms in this case, because they're freesias. So all I need to do now is put these somewhere safe. And actually, I think, yeah, I've got a little, yeah, I've got a round thing that I can put on top. I think I'm going to have a scurry in the shed to find something, but I do have a little bit of lattice work that I can put over here to stop the squirrels digging those up. So that's great. That's the additional iris planted in that bowl, and I think they'll look great at the front of the shed here in the spring. And all of the freesias, well, you can you see they're here in this trough. You can't really see it, but they're all in those two troughs. So I'm pleased to have got those jobs done, and I'll show you where I'm going to position the troughs tomorrow, because I'm going to use them as a guide for something. Oh, there's a moth. There's a really big moth just gone past. So I'm going to I'm going to go because there's somebody here who seems to have something for me. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye. Good day. Quite a grey day today, but we got to expect that at this time of year. Mum keeps on saying to me, it's quite grey today. I go, Mum, it's autumn, it's almost winter. But my thought today is about these beds and elongating these beds again. This growing space here, I'm going to need to measure, and I'll do that as part of the addition to the new plot series of videos. But what I'm going to do here, I've been thinking about this morning. Basically, I mentioned the other day, but I didn't explain clearly. I need a good gap here to be able to easily get through there with a wheelbarrow and just bits and pieces. It's a sort of major thoroughfare of the plot, if you like. It's the way over to our compost bins. You can see I've picked up some horse manure and horse bedding over there as well. That'll be going into our bins today. So this area over here can't come out too much if I'm going to extend it. I've already extended it by having this here all summer, and then I had cucumbers down here. So I know that the gap between there is absolutely fine. What I'm wondering is if I bring it out to maybe just one more brick length, and then turn this end of bed into a little herb bed with herbs that we're going to use. And then what I may do is sink this mint into the ground. The reason mint is in that tub is because mint is very invasive, and if it's in the tub, it's not going to invade so much. And then looking at these two, do I bring them out 80 centimeters or 60 centimeters or not? The thing is, you see, this area here, it goes up here and then it dips down. Can you see that dip? It's sort of level and then dips down here and dips down level there and then dips down there. So basically there's an area that's quite unstable underfoot. So what I'm going to do, there's a plane going over now. What I'm going to do is put the troughs that I planted up yesterday at the ends along here, and then just live with them and see how they feel over the next couple of weeks. And then that will give me an idea of whether I take this line here back maybe a foot all the way along. So I'm going to get my troughs and just put them at the end. So you see, it'll work fine here because this area here is flat, but as I say, when I get to this area, it sort of quite dips down. Anyway, let's get the troughs and then I can show you. So I did bring this out a whole brick's depth, but I felt it was then getting a bit too tight. So effectively I've lined up the corner here with the corner there. So it's out by about maybe 2/3 of a brick. And bear in mind that this would be in the ground, so it's going to be less obstructive for wheelbarrows and that type of thing. So my idea is that I'd have an additional herb bed wrapping round there. And then if I just carefully do this, you can see those two. I've actually brought this out 90 centimeters. So from the edge here to the edge here is 90 centimeters. And I've done the same with this one. And I'm going to live with that for a couple of weeks. I've got a feeling that maybe 80 centimeters is best rather than 90 centimeters. But as you can see from this one, it's dipping down. This side of this one is lower, it's dipping down. So I'm sort of on the edge of that dip where that is at the moment. So yeah, I'm just going to live with those and see how I feel over the coming weeks. If you've got any thoughts, let me know. I'll see you again very soon for another A Week at the Plot. Bye.